Family. Hello, 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 family. I hope everybody is doing well. This is a surprise visit today. I hadn't really expected to come on, but I just could not um, allow white supremacy to get away with what I've been seeing so far. Come on in the room, family. We got some family business to discuss. And I hope that each and every person that's on this live or that's going to visit this live, that you are practicing your Second Amendment. Because from what I'm seeing, it ain't no joke out here. And I hope you are watching and being careful and have your head on a swivel. I hope that you are practicing and, just doing what you need to do. Okay. I seen a story the other day that really upset me. A couple of stories. And the first one that I'm going to talk about is the Florida guy, Florida man that was found hung. By the way, I hope everybody's having a great week and happy Pedophiles Day. I, I am so disgusted by this country right about now. I've had enough. I'm so disgusted by it, by what I'm seeing. We have a guy on a calendar who murdered millions, who raped babies, and he was celebrated. This is what the country we live in. This is the foundation of this country that we live in. Now you have a problem that I'm seeing, that white folk continuously pissing on us and calling it rain. I'm seeing black folk hanging on trees, and because they're white and they say so, they're trying to tell me that we're committing suicide. No, because you're white and you say so does not mean that I'm going to believe what you say, because your history tells me that every time you open your mouth, you're lying. Every time you open your mouth, you're lying. That's what my history tells me. So I have chosen to believe my history. I have chosen to see things not the way you tell me to see them, but according to the history. And my history is telling me that black folk don't commit suicide. We don't know how to tie nooses, and we're not hanging ourselves. No matter what you say, but you have to say that in order to keep us docile, in order, because only when white folks say that we're hanging ourselves will we believe it. We can see what's right in front of our face. I see glasses, but if somebody white come and tell me, "Oh, Cassie, you don't have any glasses on," I'm be like, "Oh, those aren't glasses." What? Okay, he said they're not glasses. So I have to believe that they're not glasses. So because you say so, just like this young woman that was found in her garage a few months back, and she had a white roommate, and he said that she was suffering from bipolar, and her family didn't care, and she was from Africa, and she was living with a white guy, and blah 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 blah. I don't know if they were dating or what, but I don't know how she ended up in his house. But she was hanging in the garage for 3 days, and at the time, it was in Texas. At the time, it was 100 degrees, 120, 100 and something degrees in the 120 degrees in the garage. So you mean to tell me for 3 days this girl hung and you didn't smell anything? But because you say so and you white, that the police believed you. Okay. Family, if you don't get it together, you should not be black without going anywhere. Okay. And if you are, shame on you. If you are, we ain't gonna save everybody. I know that. I know that. It's okay. We can't save everybody. But I'm trying. But for the ones that do hear me, practice your Second Amendment. Get your passport and get out of America. Get out as soon as possible. As soon as you can. Get out. Because what I'm seeing, it's not gonna get no better. Okay. When I seen this story here about this Florida man, Melvin Baker. He was found hanging on a tree in Florida. His family said that his teeth were missing, front teeth were missing. His hands were tied behind his back. His jaw was misaligned, and he had a bump on his head and a swollen jaw. I guess the side of his face was swollen. And they told the family, I'm pissing on you, but I'm going to tell you it's rain. They told the family that he died of natural cause, but he had his hands behind his back. So how did he get up there? Tell me how did he commit suicide with his hands? And how did he tie it? Can I tie my hands behind my back? Please help me. How can I tie my hands behind my back? I'm finna commit suicide, right? But I got my hands behind and I'm tied. How did I tie my hands behind my back? Please help me with this. You're pissing on me and calling it rain. I know the difference. But because you say so, I might not know the difference. Is that what you think? We're not that dumb. We're not that dumb. But because you have not told us that they're lynching us, then we're not going to believe it. We're not going to say it. We're not going to think that that's what it is because we don't want to be tripping. So until you tell us that we're hanging or being lynched, we're going to continue saying that it's suicide. We're going to continue believing you when you tell us it's suicide, right? Is that the thing we're here to believe today? Okay. But he got teeth missing. So did I knock my teeth out too? Who knocked my teeth out? Or did I do that? Or did they come out doing the hanging? Did I bite down so hard that I knocked my teeth out because I bit down so hard on from hanging, and my jaw was out of line, misaligned. So how did I do that? But because you're not telling me that we're being lynched, white family, then I'm not supposed to believe what I see right in front of my face. And then I heard another story. Now his family, okay, his family, they don't believe it. You know your son, you know your child, you know your brother. You know if your brother is suicidal or not. You know your family, you know your son. You know what's going on, family. We know what's going on. But because I'm white and I say so, then they don't investigate it. And then they said it's under investigation. But then they already came to the conclusion that it's a suicide. So how did you come to that conclusion if you're still investigating it? But still, how are you going to tell me that it's suicide if my brother had his hands tied behind his back? But because you tell me it's, but because you tell me, because you white, you say so, I believe it, right? Okay. Okay. Look up that story, family. It's Melvin. I just seen the boy's name. I just wrote the man's name. Melvin Baker. Just wrote it down. Just seen it. Then we got another story about these 13 thugs. I'm gonna show you their picture. 13 of them, thugs, that has decided that they want to um kidnap somebody. 13. Now help me understand that. 13 men charged. Now I'm gonna show you their little picture so that you can understand now. It's gonna, I'm saying 13 men. Okay? Charged. Kidnapping plot. Many with troubled past. You see that? Okay. Remember the young man. Remember all of the school shooters. Remember the Walmart shooter. Remember the nightclub shooter in Ohio. Every time these thugs go around shooting up stuff, they've had a long past with the law, right? Every single time that we end up finding out after they've shot up places that they've had several run-ins with the law, right? but they're never arrested. They're never arrested. They never go to jail. They're never prosecuted. They never come up on charges. But I've seen some black men recently. One of them was in jail for 46 years, and come to find out he didn't do it. One was in jail for 64 years. Come to find out he didn't do it. And they was all saying that they had committed rape. And another man had stole a candy bar and had been there for 50 years. I'm just saying. But you got all these jokers right here that plotted to kidnap a governor because she was off code. Because she was off code. Because they was complaining that she wasn't doing her job, and they said it was about masks. But I don't believe it. Do you? I don't believe that they was trying to commit a felony because of masks. She was off code. And then she came on and didn't even condemn. She didn't have anything rough to say. She didn't condemn them. She didn't say anything harsh. But it's sad. These 13 jokers right here, thug terrorists, that's what they are. They're terrorists and they're thugs. That was committed, that they say was trying to rob. No, they was trying to kidnap a governor. Okay. But what did it say? They said it had many with troubled past, right? Let's read a little bit of that. It's always it's always where they can do crime, and then we've had this racist problem in America for a long time. And we're dealing with our slave masters great grandchildren, right? This country has never dealt with racism. That's the main problem. And they always say it's about guns and it's about, let's get the gun programs. And I said, no, it's about racism. Take care of your racism problem. Take care of when these thug terrorists are 12 and 13 or 6 or 7 and they first get in trouble. Take care of them then. Take care of them when they first do the first crime at age 12. Take care of it when they first do their crime, and punish them, because that's the only way that it's going to stop them from committing continuously committing crimes. Because I'm going to read some of this stuff, and some of these people, one of them, let me tell you about one of them. I'm going to show you him. One of them named Barry Croft. We'll get to him. He was Barry Croft. He had been pardoned by Delaware Governor John Carney last year. He was in possession of a firearm, assault and battery. He was pardoned in 2019. Okay. And he had a series of crimes, charges that occurred in in the mid 90s. Okay. But up until, he was just committing crime after crime after crime. But the stuff he was charged with, he should have never been out in the first place. And then they let him out on a pardon. But of course, the governor had so many excuses of why he did what he did. Okay. But I don't see any black men being pardoned. Do you? I'm just saying. Let's read a little bit about, let's see how our little friends have done, and how much crime, and how long of a list of crimes they've been allowed to do. And that's the sad thing about America. They've never ever There's never ever consequences for crimes that they do. But yet the crimes that we do could be the little bit of pot that you have, and you'll go for 50 years. Remember in the 80s when Biden wrote his Biden's law, and then he gave the state money to support the law that he wrote to send black men that had crack cocaine, okay, crack, and then there was dealing with the marijuana, and he encouraged the state to increase the laws, or increase the time that they were getting on their sentencing. Okay. But these are laws that never impact them. These laws never impacted his son, but his son was on drugs, right? But these laws that he wrote for our children never impacted his children. But he wants your vote. Okay. Let's just read a little bit about this. Okay. Um the suspects accused of plotting to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmore are a baker's dozen of disaffected Men whose anti-government attitudes show up in everything from seatbelt violations to forgery. Okay, that's the result of wide-ranging free press investigation into 13 men and their backgrounds, finding most of them had troubled pasts and vented their anger both online and in person. Okay, the accused range from the age of 21 to 44. They seem to share military mindset and a fondness for firearms, of course. Some have been publicly vocal in their views using social media. Okay, now they was able to use Facebook and some other places, but then yet if I get on Facebook and I call them thugs or terrorists, then I get blocked. But they were able to use Facebook for what? To spreading their messages of hate. Others flew under the radar. Their collective rap sheets, okay, because all of them have crime. All of them committed crime. Every last one of these 13 men, plus all of the shooters that have shot up Walmarts, that shot up the nightclubs, that shot up the churches, they all had uh, crime, passes with the law, okay? Before the kidnapping plot, charges included things such as drunk driving, malicious destruction, assault, and shoplifting, in addition to lesser brushes with the law like traffic offenses. Several of them have been hauled into court for skipping out on rent and other unpaid debts. And I'm telling you, it's more than that. They're just not putting it in the story. Because a lot of times they'll say, yes, they went to court, but they're not telling you what for. So you're going to court for something. One of these young men, I think the one that I'm getting ready to read now, he had changed his name. And from 2014 back, they didn't have any record of what was on him because he changed his name in 2014. So from 2014, they're going to show you what he's done. But I guarantee you that he's had a record, but the stuff that he did under his old name didn't transfer to his new name. Okay. So they didn't even go into that discussion. Okay, they said, "Oh, from 2014 when he changed his name, we could find anything before then because his name changed in 2014." They mostly lived in a small town, often on dirt roads, and at least two of them fly from under Okay, at least two of them fly from their porches flags featuring the images of the coiled rattlesnake on a yellow background with the words "Don't tread on me." Okay, now they of course they have their Confederate flags. Okay, they don't mix and mingle with the neighbors, which is mostly okay with the neighbors, many of whom wouldn't discuss the men on record. Okay, they know they better not because they'll be off code, right? But I guarantee if it had been some black folk, we would have been all over the camera. Let me tell you, Sam said this and he did that, and that boy was so bad. And we'd have just started singing on camera. But guess what? They're on code. They wouldn't even talk about the 13. They wouldn't even have anything to say. Okay. And then when they did, they said, oh, the family was good. The kids was good. They was memorable. One boy said, oh, I can't believe it was my brother. He was just never that kind of kid. It was nothing but good. Then they even talked about the little thug that killed the two protesters. They even talked him. They even defended him and had something nice to say about him. But they don't never blame or they don't ever have anything to say against each other. This is what Black folk need to learn how to be on code. Okay, they don't appear to be long-term friends, but rather a makeshift group of like-minded people who met online and at an anti-government protest rallies over the past year. Okay, so these 13 that I showed you, which was the ones that was charged with trying to kidnap the governor, the female Gretchen, they just met online for the past year. Okay, yet there were other sides on them as well, of them as well. At least one was described as a kindly neighbor. They're always going to be kind, who was often seen with his mom and polite children. Another in the former volunteer firefighter, whose brother insists he had a heart of gold. Okay, what I tell you? Okay, on Thursday, their fates collided as federal authorities charged Adam Fox. That's the first guy we're going to talk about. Barry Croft, which is the second guy that we talked about. Remember the Barry Croft guy? Okay, the one that got pardoned by the governor. Ty Garbin, Caleb Franks, Brandon Casorda, and Daniel Harris with federal conspiracy charges, while state law enforcement leveled related charges against Paul Beller, Sean Fix, Eric Molick, Peter Musco, Joseph Morris, and Michael Knoll and William Knoll. Okay, Michael and William are brothers, they're twins. expert. Okay, now you see that they're trying to split up the charges, but now you know if they're all together, they will lump them together in the same thing, right? Birds of a feather flock together. If you commit a crime and you're there, you still guilty, right? So I see that they're trying to separate the charges. Experts warn that the threat of domestic terrorists is growing. But guess what they said? They called us the terrorists, right? They called the Black Lives Matter terrorists, right? Didn't they? Okay. But Black Lives that matter. We're not kidnapping anybody. We're not burning anybody. We're not shooting anybody. We're not hanging anybody. But you want to call Black Lives Matter terrorist group. But here, you didn't call them terrorists, right? Okay. Okay. Expert warn that the threat of domestic terrorism is growing and addressing it is not as simple as creating profiles of a would-be terrorist. Okay, so they're saying they're having a hard time addressing it. Tell me why? Because you've allowed it to go on, America, for so long. This is what you have to contend with when you don't take care of your little thugs. When you let your little thugs grow up to be big thugs, they become thugs and terrorists and not just thugs. Okay, this is what they've done. Oh, excuse me. This is what they've done. They have allowed white folk, these thug terrorists, to grow up, and they've never really given them any consequences for anything that they do. They always give them a pat on the hand, or they'll always defend them, just like Lil Kyle. They've not had his trial yet, but he murdered two rioters, and I hear a lot of people defending this thug who had terrorists and his mom, who should be in jail because she drove her son with a shotgun, no, with an AR-15 in the car across the state lines from Chicago to Kenosha, but nobody is mentioning her. Nobody is saying that she needs to be arrested, right? Why? Because she's white, and I say so. But if it had been me and I would have taken my child across the state lines with an AR-15, he would have had they would have had an issue with that, right? But never have an issue with them ever. They can do whatever they want. They can break any law that they want, and it's never any consequences. Okay. So let's go. Let's keep on going. Okay. With the 13 people, they do seem to come from a certain socioeconomic sort of a background or demographics. Okay. Um, One guy, Jovi Ali, a former FBI counterterrorist analyst who's now a visiting professor at a Ford School of Public Policy of the University of Michigan. But I don't know. You can't make broadly sweeping general observations about that to describe the overall threat of far right extremists or domestic terrorists writ large. Okay. The alleged ringleader, we're going to talk about him and I'm going to show you his picture. This is the ringleader right here. I don't know. Hope you'll be able to see him. This is the ringleader. I'm gonna show you guys. That's the ringleader. Okay. Can y'all see that? Okay. I think y'all can. Let me go over this way. Okay. That's the ringleader. Okay. His name is Adam Fox. That's the first one that I was talking about. Okay. Let's see what he did. Okay. Let's talk about Mr. Adam. Whitmere is what is his name? Yep, Adam. Yep, Adam Fox. That's his name. Is not the first woman, okay, with reason to fear what Adam Fox might do. Okay. Talking about the governor. Reckless, threatening, and alcoholic are just three of the terms Fox's ex-wife used to describe him of her 2015 application for a personal protection order. Okay. Now this guy should have been in jail. From what I'm reading, you can ready to hear it, he should have been in jail. But he wasn't because he's white, and I say so. He is reckless when drunk, even drives, she wrote on June 8, 2015, threatening me. He owns a gun. He's an alcoholic. He kicked in my door to get in, punched a hole in my wall, and left bruises on me. Okay. A judge denied her request for personal protection order, citing the number of years since the allegation incited took place, reached by the free press. She declined to discuss her ex-husband. Of course, she wouldn't say anything, right? That's her husband, and we're gonna stick together. I'm still on code. We may not be married, but they're still on code, right? Okay, if they had been black folk, we'd have been singing, right? We got to learn how to get on code, family. Okay. Um, but her 2015 request for a divorce, supported by text messages, she said her husband sent her, indicating Fox has harbored violence throughout thoughts. Wait a minute, indicating Fox, which is the guy, had harbored violent thoughts for years. Okay. Um, Now, this is what is on the text message. She's reading the text messages. It said, I'll do whatever I want. You can't stop me from doing SHIT, but go ahead and push my buttons. I ain't got S to lose. Reading one of his ex-wife's texts, she said he sent to her to a response to a dispute over property. The undated text, which is included and as an exhibit in the divorce file, is part of a string, okay, that includes a text she sent Fox that says he threatened me and my family. Okay. It is not clear what happened to Fox after the couple split, though his ex-wife says in court papers that he moved to the East Coast. Okay. Now let's continue on. Court allegations, kept court records in Allegheny County, where Fox lived during his brief marriage, indicated that Fox problems date to at least back to 2014. This is the one that changed his name. On June 6, 2014, Fox, who was then known as Adam Dean Vernon Wagner, filed papers to change his name to Adam Dean Fox, saying he wanted to have mother's biological name. He wanted his mom's biological. Okay, now, okay, no reason he wanted to change his name. This was 2014, which was like maybe what 15, 6, 7, 8, 9, about what 6 years ago. Why all of a sudden you what darn it? Let me see how old this dude is. I just want to see how. Let's go back and see. Fox. It doesn't say how old he was. I guess he was like 30s or something. Didn't say how old he was. But why all of a sudden do you want to change your name now? I'm just I'm just wondering that. Okay. Okay. Now it says name change requests require a criminal background check. The file says my Michigan State Police found Adam Dean Vernon Wagner had a criminal record. Do you hear that? He has a criminal record. Though it didn't provide specifics, the judge in the case ruled that name change request is not made with fraudulent intent and granted Wagner, okay, he granted him the petition to change his name, okay. Now, on May 2015, divorce papers filed by his ex-wife says Adam Fox began sending threatening messages. Tell your family. Okay, now he's threatening the family that has never supported us and always tried to stand in the way that I said F you to reads one of the texts. Another said, maybe I should drive back down to Michigan and lose my effing mind, giving them an actual reason to not like me. Okay, now he's still sending back text messages with his wife. Okay, in a motion seeking exclusive use of the home in the farmland just outside Fox's ex's house during their short marriage. Defendant spent much of his time drinking. When drunk, he experienced a roller coaster of emotions and would act violent and do things such as kicking in holes in doors and punching the walls, the same stuff she said earlier. Okay, the federal case against Fox said that he directed plans to take violent actions against multiple state governments, okay, from a dark clutter basement underneath his floor. Now they're showing a picture where he has a wood floor, but one part of the floor he can lift up, and you can go underneath the floor with stairs. Okay, I'm not sure, you probably won't be able to see that one. Okay, then it says talked about him living. Said that he knew Fox since he was a kid, helped him graduate high school, and let him live in his shop's basement because he had nowhere to go. Okay, Fox's attorney could not be reached. Okay, blah blah blah. Let me see. Um, and then the witness that allowed him to move in with him said that it was just unclear and called what he had did was just uncalled for. Okay, that's all he had to say. He didn't say anything negative about the guy. You know, he was just saying that what he did was uncalled for. So let's go to the training ground. Okay, um, I'm gonna get down to the good stuff. I'm trying to reach each and every one of them. They're talking about the camper. Um, Hold on, let me see. Village amount about 100 miles. Let's get on the other ones. 'Cause this is just a lot of, early Friday morning, quiet there. The neighbors just talking about the other two. Okay, we're gonna uh talk about the other two young men? Talking about it was shooting, and you have two other young men, Musico, which is 42, and Morrison, which is 26. Okay, they lived out in the woods, and these. This is just talking about the neighbors, how the neighbors complained that yes, they were great neighbors, but of course, on weekends we would hear a lot of shooting. So of course they were practicing. Okay, which is something we need to do. Um, but she said that that's something that they hear all the time out there, so that's nothing abnormal. Okay, this is the one guy, okay. The Joseph Morrison, which is 26. Now this is him. This is the second one that who's accused of hold on, let me see if you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? I don't know why I have to have okay. That's one of another guy, okay. And his name, that's Joseph Morrison. He's 26. Okay. And Morrison bought the property. He's talking about he bought the property, how much he bought it for, that's not important. Before moving to talking about where he lived. Um, I'm trying to see. Each one of them had something that they would do. He did have a YouTube account. Um, against gun control. He didn't like gun control, stuff like that. But I'm trying to find out detailed explanation of his anti-established views. Yes, honey. Question why the government. Okay, talking about. Thank you. Talking about why the government the anti-establishment views question why the government had the right to tell people to wear seatbelts and their own car insurance, and this is just stuff that he was arguing about and was upset about on his YouTube page. Wanted people to start stepping up and stepping back against the system, okay, against the people in the government. It's time to go after the government. That is what he did say, okay. um let me see. I'm trying to find out some other stuff. Before moving to Mumith, Moscow, lived in a trailer park. Okay, but it didn't really say anything about what he had did. But this is another looking guy. This is another one of the guys. Okay, y'all bear with me. I'm trying to get these little thug terrorists their little pictures. Okay, that's another one. That's the one that's 42. Okay, and now he was the one that had the Twitter account that said "Don't tread on me." Okay, he posted on regularly, criticized the Democratic presidential candidate Hillary, and promoted Donald Trump, of course. Okay, look at what our country has become. Everybody hates Trump, so if everybody hates him, wouldn't he be a good thing for our country? And we need to get away from the controllers of this country and become America again. That's what Trump wants. Okay. He also urged people to stay away from vaccines. Okay. He also appeared in a photo taken by news photographers during April rally against Whitmer emergency orders. Okay. Prosecutors have said that these folks charged in the plot used their rallies to recruit members. Okay. Musico, which is the guy I just showed you, was in Michigan as a teenager, pleading guilty to a felony count of forgery in Livingston County in 95 when he was 17, and was sentenced to 36 months in probation and paid $1,000 fine and restitution. Okay, he spent about a decade in Alabama. This is where he faced more than 9,000 in financial judgments against him, including tax liens. It's also unclear how or where how he worked to or how him and the other young man that I showed you connected. Morrison attended Center Line High School. That's the 26-year-old guy. Okay. Um, he graduated in 2012, according to the multiple websites where former students can add in graduation information. Let's see, Morrison, he attended Western Michigan University, studied criminal justice. At 21, he lost custody of his son, according to uh, the county records. He left and moved to an apartment in Hopewell. Okay, Hopewell. Um, they're saying that it's not clear what they did for employment. And then let's see what else. I'm trying to just show you how each one of them had records before they got to the time of kidnapping the governor. Okay. Nearly 200 miles away, we're going to Munith on a dirt road in south of Cadillac. A few letters in the name of Molitor are missing from the white fence-like sign in front of his home. FBI agents swarm around dinner time Wednesday evening. Now, this one is Eric Molter. Okay. He's another one that's facing charges. I'm going to show you him. This is the other thugs. This is the other thug. Okay. Let me go this way. Trying to see where you won't be able to see my lamp on it. Okay. That's another one. Another little thug terrorist. Okay. Let's see how many charges they brought him up on. Let's see his future, his past. Okay. He's 36. Was a kind neighbor, of course. They're going to say nothing but good. Kind neighbor, sometimes seen along with two polite young children. Okay, they're not going to say, you know, them kids bad as heck. Okay, and his mom outside the Calm Lake Township home. Okay, there was nothing unusual about him or the family in the northern community about he did target practice, but a lot of people target practice. This is what they keep saying. You know, they were out there shooting. Um, And then they wouldn't try to talk to the neighbors, but the neighbors wouldn't talk. They said, we don't have any comments, of course. You see how they on code. They're going to stay on code all the time. They're going to stay on code. Okay. Then his schoolmate in school, he said it, Allison, one of his classmates said that he was a funny guy. Of course, they're going to say he was a nice guy. He volunteered for class parties. Um, she said, never in a million years would I have thought anything like this about him, she said. People change a lot, but I don't believe anything until it's proven. Well, hold on. You just hear what she said? She said people change a lot, but I don't believe anything until it's proven. But when it was Brianna, what did they do? They jumped on the bandwagon when they said, "Oh, she's a drug dealer. Oh, her boyfriend was a drug dealer." All this negative stuff that was going on about Breonna Taylor. If all these white folk jumped on the bandwagon and black folk jumped on the bandwagon with her. But guess what? Did they jump on the bandwagon? What did the lady just say? She said, "I'm not believing any of it until it's proven." She said, "I don't believe anything until it's proven." Ain't that something? Hmm. Social media posts. This is crazy. Okay. Um, okay, on the Facebook page, which is gone now, said he referenced the Bulu Boys, okay, the Bulu movement, described as far right, anti government, extremist political movement. Okay, July 20th, he shared a YouTube video about a St. Louis couple charged with pointing gun at protesters. Okay, we have all been seeing this coming. Okay, F the government, he said this is why the Boog, talking about the Boogaloo Boys, is coming. Okay. We got to stand against this SHIT. Okay. Um, more government, the government talking, he was still talking. He talking about the government denounces hate groups, says President Trump is complicit. Militia groups plotted to kidnap. Uh, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me get some more. Hold on. I got to pop up. Hold on. Okay. In August, she shared a U.S. Senate candidate from Georgia Post about Kyle Rittenhouse, the 17-year-old charged with fatally shooting two protesters, or I call them rioters, in Wisconsin that much. Wait until the old combat hardened vets get involved and start running things, running teams. Kyle was seen like a daydream in comparison to the Post, in comparison to, he's talking about the vets, okay? Um, he listed he had a job. In January, Molitor handed Wex County Commissioner a resolution to make the county a sanctuary county. Minutes from a January meeting showdown. Okay, I'm trying to get to the good part here. Let's see. Um, Okay, he did want to go, and he did put in to make that county resolution of making the county a Second Amendment sanctuary county. Other meetings minute shows other Michigan counties have passed similar solutions, which mark resistance to gun control legislations. Okay. Um, We are all shocked. They keep all saying that they're really shocked about this, what's going down. Um, Michael and William Newell, 38, twin brothers. Now let's talk about the twin brothers, okay? Michael and Noel, 38, twin brothers, lived about 10 minutes apart in the quiet countryside of Michigan. On Friday, no one answered the door. And they're talking about, I guess somebody went to their door to see what kind of people they were. Um, Litter, with 5 cars, and very talking about the cars, 3 empty bottles of Captain, okay, Morgan Black Spice, okay, rum, and then they said, okay, they had a flag in the yard. I'm trying to get to the good part. Let me see, Roman number 13, okay, and this here is the Michael, Wright and William. Okay, these two was at the American Patriot Rally organized by Michigan United for Liberty to demand the reopening of the city. And that's really what they was really mad about, they say, about the governor. And that's when these two here, and I guess you can see, let me see if I could pull them up right here. I'm trying to see here. Oh Lord, I can't do this. I gotta not look at what I'm doing. Is this, hold on. Oh shoot, it went dark. Dang, hold on here. Okay, you might can see it now. Okay. And I guess this is one of the brothers here, and that's another one right there. Okay. And they are twins. Okay. And I'm trying to see, according to the Southern property law, 3 percenters is an anti-group militia group. The anti-defamation league said 3 percenters have a track record of criminal activity, range from weapons violation to terrorist plots and attacks. But guess what? They didn't do anything when these 3 percenters went down to that court building. Remember when they had their weapons? They didn't do anything, did they? So guess what? Because you didn't do anything then, they can continue on and you don't have anything to say. They actually went inside of a court building with guns, and that's a federal offense. But did anybody get charged? Nobody got charged. But if it was black folk in that federal building, I guarantee you all of them would have been charged. Okay, and been in jail today. I'm just saying, this is kind of stuff that they allow to go unnoticed. Okay. Our neighbor, 19-year-old Joshua, said that about 1 week ago, he noticed late night gatherings at the home of Michael, which was one of the twins. He saw a number of cars driving and leaving the property. He also said he also heard occasional gunshots coming from the direction of the Knoll property, but that isn't unusual for the area because they practice. We don't. Okay, people hunt and shoot squirrels in the field and woods nearby. As for militia activity in the area, Joshua Wagner said he was unaware of any. They still on code. Okay, I'm just saying they always on code. Always, always, always. Andrew Wagner, Joshua's 21-year-old brother, said he chalked up the behavior at the Knoll residence to some rednecky kind that country behavior. It can be taken as shooting cars, messy area. You could tell he wasn't a refined businessman. Okay. And then the little boy said, okay. Neighbors, the 84, of course, they said um he didn't know much about the Knoll boy. He said he was surprised by his behavior. Okay, let's see. Process. I'm telling mom piles. Okay, I'm the neighbors said that they were shocked. Of course, the neighbors are still shocked about the behavior, of course. Um, but one neighbor did say every time you drive by that you get a bad vibe. Nevertheless, the neighbors were surprised at the news of the William Knowles alleged involvement. You don't expect to live near someone who is going to do something like that. I mean, they were seriously planning on kidnapping this woman. I just wanted you to see the records of them, even though they was plotting since out like July. Okay. And they had it all worked out, but I wanted you to see their records because all of them had records. There are no answers at the door. Okay, and they talk about that. Michael's attorney didn't return messages. Okay. Um, of course, the neighbor said he was a gentleman. Okay, I'm telling you, they're gonna stay on code. Okay, hard to believe. He said he was hard to believe. Okay, and then we're gonna look at Sean Michael, fixed a 38-year-old truck driver who lived uh, in 130 miles away in Bellevue, American flag dropped in this. Okay, this is another one of the men. This one is Sean Fixed Face. He's also been charged also. So this is him. Okay, that's Sean. Okay, all these rednecks. Okay, all these thug terrorists. Okay, I'm trying to see. Let me see. Let me see. Let's get to the good one. Fix accused of hosting members. Okay. Fix is accused of hosting members for the Wolverine Watchman paramilitary group, taking part in the tactical training and providing support and resources to the group. Okay. Um, Talking about the attorney. Fix told the court he works at AD Transportation Express, average of 1,000 a week. Okay, Cummings spokesman said Friday she could not verify Fix's employment and had no comments about the allegations. Okay. Um, It said that Fix was truck driver's records suggest he had more than a dozen driving infractions. So I guarantee you from 2007 to 2018, I guarantee you he wasn't driving nobody's truck, but that's what he said he was doing. He AD Transportation Express trucking company. He said he earned about $1,100 a week. But the spokesperson said she could not verify if that means he didn't work there, because if she could verify, she would have told them that that's where he worked. So he lied on that. He actually didn't work there. And from 2007 to 2018, he had a dozen driving infractions. So I guarantee you, he probably didn't work there. In addition, Fix was charged in November 2012 with assault and battery, aggravated assault, court records show, but he was never convicted. Let me read that again. See, this is what I'm saying. These thugs do stuff, and because they white, and I say so, I don't have to pay no consequences for what I do. And he said he was in November 2012, this 2020, right? With assault and battery and aggravated assault. He should have been in jail, right? Okay. But he was never convicted. Tell me why he was never convicted. Did he ever go to court? I'm just saying, a person who accused Fix of attacking him dropped the charges in 2013. Why? Because did he threaten him, or did he just drop the charges? If somebody's threatened me, I'm not going to drop the charge unless they threaten me again. I guess maybe he threatened him again, and then he dropped the charges because he threatened him. Huh? Michigan State Police trooper and FBI agents raided the house at dusk on Wednesday. Um, but they didn't know what was going on. This was his neighbors talking. Fix's mom lived in, okay, talking about his mom, said he went to, okay, let me see. Okay, that's his part. Volunteer firefighter. Now, this is another one. Paul Beller, he was 21. And I'm gonna show you him. And he was 21. Boy, these honey, they don't look no 21. This thing is 21. He looked like he about 31. He don't look no 21. I'm just saying. Okay, he's 21. Now his name is Paul Beller. Okay, now this is another one. Okay, let's see what how his life went. Is the youngest man charged in the plot. Okay, Beller older brother Thomas Beller doesn't believe the charges. Now this is the one. He said, "My closest sibling to me." He couldn't believe that he has a heart of gold. He works for the fire department, paramedics. He would never do anything like that. That's what his brother said. Okay. Well, we see that he did. Okay. But he's white and he say so. So we're supposed to believe that this is not him. He didn't do it. Okay. Thomas Bella Jr., who lived near his younger brother. Let's see. All these mobile home trailer parks. Okay. You know what that is. Okay. Ex-Army and was a fire cadet for a while with the fire department. Okay. Um, talk about high school years. Never would imagine him doing this. Their father now lives in South Carolina, where Paul Bueller was arrested. Wednesday, Thomas Bueller Jr. said he didn't know his brother had harbor anti-government views. Okay. He said he's not a radical. He's the same kid who would get up in the morning, okay, blah, 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 airplane. And here's another one. He was 24. This is another one. Okay, he was 24. This one's 24. and his name is Ty Garbin. He's 24. Okay, this is another one. I tell you, these folks don't look. They look. I'm just saying, they look old. Um, let's talk about what Ty. No answer at the door. Let me see. When reporter knocked at the door. Let me see. I'm trying to see. Personal journey after high school. Attorney who is based in Grand Rapids did not return messages. He's a licensed airplane mechanic, according to the Federal Aviation Administration detailed to recent employment. Okay, we're not clear, but he apparently previously worked at SkyWest Airlines. Okay, so doesn't say that he works there now. Okay. Um, So they did call the airport and they said they don't discuss if people work there or not. Confirmed that Gavin had not worked there. Okay, doesn't discuss personal matters. She could confirm that Gavin has not worked for Sky West for over a year and a half. So what they're doing, how they're taking, how they're eating, we have no idea. Because he said he worked for Sky, but just like the other lady couldn't confirm because she didn't want to because they're on code. She did said that she couldn't prove it, couldn't give, whether he worked or not. This woman did say he did not. Okay. On Friday, let's see, life of mostly back to normal. But neighbor Christina recounted on Wednesday the raid with people military gear with weapons, okay, drawn approached the house before someone was led away in handcuffs. Okay. Um, the people who lived at Garbin House are considered new to the community, keep to themselves. Let's see, here's another one. Brandon Caserta was ready for violence in the weeks before he was arrested in the kidnapping case. When the time comes, there will be no need to try and strike fear through presence. The fear will be manifested through bullets. Okay, this is Caserta replied on September 17th in an encrypted group chat that included four other alleged accomplice, okay, and confidential FBI source, according to the court records. Now, this is another joker, Brandon. I don't know how old he is, but he look a mess too. Now, this is another one of those thugs, okay. These 13, they all white and they look like rednecks. Let's see his record. The group was discussed, a military group, invitation in particular in an armed protest at the state capitol. Remember, they went to the state capitol to protest with them guns? That's what they talking about. Okay. This Caserta chimed in about manifesting fear through bullets after another alleged conspirator, Garbin, advised against the protest. Okay. Let's see. Conserta, I think, okay, they said he's 32. Let me see. He was living in an apartment, but I'm trying to see what else. Nobody answered the door. Landlord at the apartment filed a complaint for non-payment of rent in June 2019, according to records. Video posted at TikTok and other social media platforms. A person appearing to be Serta comes off as an error. What's that? An art. I can't even read that. Philosopher with an interest in guns. Okay, he called President Trump a tyrant in one of videos posted. Um, he fought for today a person appearing to be Caserta. Here's a thought for today. He said, "Okay, let me see." He pointed a finger at his tattooed hand at the camera and said, "Wake the f up." Okay. Let's see. You got Brian Arnett, 51, said he lived next door of Caserta. Okay. They were both straying additional housing for recovery addicts. Okay. So he did have a drug problem. He changed. He wasn't philosopher. Okay. Da, 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 da. Let me see. Conservative marched on his own beat and did not take well to instructions from authority figures. Okay. Mostly friendly, occasional flash of anger. He recalled one instance after Caserta lost his Chipotle job. Okay. He worked at Chipotle. he returned to the store to retrieve his slip resistant work shoes. Okay, they were missing. Sometimes employers borrow work shoes and accidentally wore them home. So Caserta took someone else's shoes. So that means he stole those shoes. Okay. Brandon, I knew wasn't political. He said he sure, okay, would have loved no rules. Okay. And then you have another one, which is Daniel. He's 23. Okay. This is another one. Okay. He was 23. Okay. Just trying to show you what kind of people we dealing with that's doing all of this acting like little thug terrorists of America. Okay, they want to go out and kidnap somebody. I don't know where you're gonna kidnap somebody. Who does that? Who thinks of stuff like this? Stuff in the movies. Who thinks about going to kidnap somebody? You're gonna put on charge. You're gonna put her on trial and then possibly kill her. Who does this? Who thinks of this stuff? Oh my goodness. Oh my God, what's wrong with these people? Ugh, what type of people are we dealing with? Okay, okay. This boy is Daniel Harris. The one I just showed you is Daniel Harris. We got the same name as Daniel Cameron, huh? Maybe they brothers. Okay. No, this one too. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Anyway, he participated in several of the field trainings. He served in the U.S. Army, no, Marine Corps as a rifleman from 2015 to 19. Um, he became a corporal, deployed to Japan for about 6 months. He earned a handful of awards, including the Humanitarian Service Medal, Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, Global War and Terrorists. Okay. Um, these allegations do not reflect his reflection of the Marine Corps. Do not reflect the oath of every Marine takes to support and defend the Constitution. Let me see. Upon leaving the Marines, Harris worked as a part-time security guard. He worked at Barton Base LaGuardia Security from mid-July to September 2019 before quitting for what he said was a better gig. Okay. Um, the new job was at DK Security, which provides security services to the state of Michigan. Okay. The president of DK Security declined to comment on Harris. Um, that he was ever posted at a Michigan State building. He also declined to comment on if the firm had any issues with Harris while he was employed and whether Harris was fired or quit. Okay. They are on code again. I keep telling you these crackers stay on code. Okay. He was a good cadet for employment. Went through a background check, had a military history. He didn't stand out, didn't have any problems with anybody. Honestly, nobody really heard from him since, and no one really remembered him very much. Okay, let me see what else. I'm just trying to help us to understand what's going on up here in these people that's doing some of this crazy stuff. I'm just trying to help. I just want us to see what's going on. How do these people? How do you get to this point where you want to kidnap somebody and possibly kill them because they told you to wear a mask? Or because they told you because you're contaminated, you can't go to work. Because the country is in a pandemic, we gonna close everything down, and you're mad because you can't come to work and finish contaminate everybody. I'm just trying to understand here. I'm just trying to understand what's going on. What kind of mind frame we dealing with? Okay. Um, I'm trying to come up see who's the next one. Very nice church going. Oh, of course they were church going people. One of these here's was a church going people who gave gifts to those living around them. Okay. Um, whatever. Harris hosted several of the alleged domestic terrorists in his Lake Orion home in August. Let's see. He attended meetings in Ohio, which you as you can see, they've got around. They had meetings in Ohio, they had meetings in Michigan. Um, from what I understand, they also was trying to get addresses of some of the police officers. Okay. So they was gonna do some dirt. Okay. According to the criminal complaint, Harris wrote in the encrypted group chat of Whitmere, have one person to go to her house, knock on the door, and when she answers it, just cap her at that point, F it. Okay, so they was really gonna do some dirt. Now this one here is the Barry Croft man, the man that he got a pardon. Okay, let's read about this creep. Let's read about. I'm gonna show you this terrorist thug first. Now this is the one that got the part. Can you guys see that? Hope my computer is not. Can you guys see that? Trying to show it to where y'all the cameras. Okay, that's even worse. Okay. Now, that one there is Barry Croft. Okay. Let's read about Mr. Barry. Let's read about him. While most of the men charged in connection with the alleged plot, Barry, he was 44, was living on the East Coast where he had earlier brushes with the law, succumbed clean. Okay. Um, he was pardoned by the Delaware Governor John Carney last year, according to the public document. The charge for which Crafty, this is the dude, okay, this is the one I just showed you, okay? He was the one that was pardoned. I think that's a little bit better of a picture, okay? Now, he was pardoned by the governor of Delaware, okay? The charge for which Crafty received a pardon included possession of a firearm during the commission of felony, assault, and burglary, according to court records. Carney, who was a Democrat, okay, who has a lot more to deal with white supremacy than the Republicans. I'm not saying that they don't, both of them are racist, but I think one is at another more of a level and have made more laws against black folk than the Republicans have because we're more devout Democrats, right? So you have a lot more democratic laws that was done against us systematically done by the Democrats more so than the Republicans. Okay. But you would think that because we are so devout to Democrats that we would have more blessings or more things from them in our favor, but you don't have anything. They've not even written any laws, in connection to black people, and we're the ones that that vote the most. Okay, but we don't put money behind anybody. Okay, let's continue on. Okay, the pardon was signed in April 2019. Okay, after the Delaware Board of Pardons recommended approval. Okay, on Friday, confirmed that the pardon Croft for a series of criminal charges that occurred in the mid 1990s. Okay, in a written statement issued through the spokesman, Carney called Croft federal charges disturbing and said everyone involved with the kidnapping plot should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Okay, now this is making the governor look really suspicious, look really bad, huh? Okay. He wrote a statement that the board considers several factors. Now they're trying to understand why this governor gave him a pardon. And they said the governor who was a Democrat, chairs the board pardons, said in writing a statement that the board considered several factors when determining whether to recommend a pardon for to the governor. So this governor, the Lieutenant Governor Bethany Hall Long, a Democrat who wrote the governor of Delaware in order to get this pardon. Okay, such a position of the Department of Justice natural of the incidents, the time lapse from the last conviction. So they were saying that the amount of time that he had in the last conviction was enough time that they felt that he had changed. Okay. All of these factors are considered with this recommendation, she said. Um, Records detailing the exact nature of his crimes were not immediately available. Okay, court records indicating Croft was arrested multiple times in 94, 96. During that period, he pleaded guilty to several charges, including third-degree burglary, attempted theft, receiving stolen property, third-degree conspiracy, third-degree assault. According to the court docket, he should have been in jail for like 20, 30 years, right? If he had got the right amount of time, his behind would still be in jail, and wouldn't have to, the governor wouldn't have to worry about her life being in jeopardy because this creep would have been in jail. Okay. In 97, he was charged with reckless endangering and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. Okay. He's already a felony, so he shouldn't have had no gun, right? He pleaded guilty to only the firearm charge in that case. Didn't tell you how much time he get, did he? Okay. That year he did his longest sentence in Delaware prison, serving December 97 to 2000. So he only served 3 years. Wow, 3 years, really? Okay. Department of Correction record indicated that he had several shorter stints in Delaware prison and in the community supervision. Okay. Croft applied to the Board of Pardons in December 18. An official with the board pardon said there are no minutes of the hearing. Okay. So did they even have a hearing? You don't have any records of a hearing. So maybe they didn't have a hearing. The document states Croft sought the pardon for employment purposes. Okay. For employment purposes. Okay. But our black men who have felonies can't get jobs. But he can ask for pardon because so he can get a job. But you're in jail for all of this other stuff. And you say, okay, so he can get a pardon so he can go and work. But our black men can't get a pardon to go to work because they can't even find a job if they have a felony, right? Okay. Five members board recommended Croft be pardoned with no objection from the Delaware Attorney General office. Okay, Matt Marshall, a spokesman for Attorney General Kathy, said her predecessor, Matt Dean, also Democrat, did not oppose Kraft's pardon because his criminal record was more than 2 decades old, but he was still committing crimes. So, okay. It appeared to everyone involved that his offenses were in his past and that he had gotten himself on the right track. Okay. He's on the right track, huh? Now he came out. He just got out in December and October. He's but in July they started plotting to kidnap this governor, right? Okay. Um that shows a lot of improvement. He was rehabbed then, huh? Okay. He said neither state prosecutor nor the board of pardon would have endorsed Croft pardon had they known what the future held. No, they should have done the right thing in the first place and treated him just like they treat the black people. So my thing is across the board, if you do it for the black people, you do it for everybody. If you don't do it for black folk, you don't do it for anybody. And until the laws in America, you get on one track system, then you can't say, well, this one did this one, so we gave him this amount of time, and this one stole a candy bar, so we gave him 100 years, and this one had 15 felonies or 15 things that they did, and we only gave them 3 years. I'm just saying, come on, you guys. Um, Lord, I'm sorry, you guys. He said neither statement, prosecutor nor the board pardon would have endorsed. Okay, Crafty actions are horrific and another reminder about the rising tide of political violence. Okay. So-called militia, the Boo Boo Boys, Proud Boys, and other extremist groups, Marshall said. Proper records indicate Croft lived in different parts of Delaware, most recently in a subdivision. Okay, let me search the media page that match his mugshot and then identify details found in court document. Croft's tweeted praise for Donald Trump, of course, disdain for certain immigration policies across multiple social medias. Croft wears a tricorn hat. Let's see, armed citizens. Okay, Homeland Security in 76 since 17. Okay. Um, every government, he also tweets, I'm just reading some of his tweets. Every government official is responsible for the invasion of America by the estimated 35 million illegal foreign people. Talking about immigrants. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Sworn affidavit. He did have filed a court document affidavit last week indicating that Croft was among a group of people discussing the violent overthrow of certain governments and law enforcement components earlier this year. Huh. Earlier this year, but they didn't. How did they? Okay. Croft and agreed to unite others in their cause and take violent actions against multiple. Okay, Croft and his co-defendant Fox agreed to multiple to unite others in this cause to take. Now, Fox was the first guy that I showed you. Okay, violent actions against multiple state government that they believed are violating the U.S. Constitution. How you gonna go in and try only in America? I'm just saying. They finna going in. Okay. This on July 26th. Okay. This 26-year-old Caleb Frank, another man charged in the plot, said at a meeting with members that he was not cool with offensive kidnapping, adding a statement to the effect that he was just there for training, according to the federal criminal complaint. And this guy here is 26. Let me show you him. And his name is Caleb Franks. This is another one of them thugs, terrorists. Okay. I'm not going to be much longer, you guys. I'm just trying to see what we dealing with, what type of people we dealing with, what manner of people are we dealing with that think they can just wake up and plot to kidnap a governor. They was going, I mean, they was talking about going to her beach house. She has a summer house, and they was talking about going out there to the summer house. And another one talked about that, all of the plots and how they was planning this stuff. The bomb hit, they had bombs and all. It was crazy. I'm just showing you the part of their background, just seeing what kind of people we dealing with here. Um, okay, this young man said he was in for anything as long as it was well planned. Okay. Their plans were surveilling the governor's house, vacation home, kidnapping, arson, death. I don't care, according to the complaint. Wow. He made a big purchase to participation of the attack. Frank told the group in August that he recently spent almost $4,000 on helmet and night vision goggles. $4,000, really? At one of the group firearm exercise in July, Frank brought and fired a rifle with the silencer, according to the complaint. This dude was crazy. Two people who would have known Frank for years told the professor they were never heard him expressing strong opinions on political or governor, and they didn't know how he became acquainted with the other men. Okay. Um, this is the employer, hardware individual. He was a hard worker. Okay. I always have some nothing but great things to say. Um, Metro Parent article from August described as a peer recovering from a coach. Okay, let me see. We all make mistakes. I understand that I have to acknowledge that and work on it as things are coming to me. Frank said in the Metro Parent article, I don't have to relapse. I can correct my course of action right there. Okay. He was a peer recovering from recovery coach. He was a recovery coach. Okay. At that Meredith Health Services. Okay. I guess he was helping other people to recover. Um, I'm trying to see what else that's important. Dun, dun, the 20 years in prison. Okay, charging the state level, going up on, okay, charging the federal level. Okay, there, I don't understand why they're breaking the charges up. You have Paul, Sean, you have some charged at the state level, and then you have some charged at the federal level. But I'm thinking if you all involved in this plot, shouldn't they have all been charged at the same level? Philip, welcome, 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 welcome. Thank you. Shouldn't they all have been charged at the same level? I'm really trying to discuss these 13 terrorist thugs that was trying to kidnap the governor. Okay, that female Gretchen, I think that's her name, Gretchen. And I'm seeing the six were charged felony with the state level, and six were charged at the federal level. I don't know why they broke the charges up or anything, but that's all, you guys. I just didn't want to be on here long, but um, the following timeline largely reflects the count of the criminal court documents. Okay. Early 2020, FBI became aware that the social media that the group of involved was discussing the violent overthrow of the center government and law enforcement components. Okay, and then they talk about in March, the police department alerts the FBI about the members of the unarmed militia, unnamed, I'm sorry, unnamed militia group attempting to obtain the addresses of local law enforcement officers. FBI conducted an interview with an unnamed militia member about the group's plan to kill officers. Then the FBI recruits that member as an informant on the group. Okay. In a related case, state officials identified a militia as the group as the Wolverine Watchmen, but the federal criminal complaint does not identify the group specifically. Okay, and then they've been doing this stuff since what, early 2000 or 2020. Okay, and then they started in March, and they was looking for the police officers' addresses. Okay, and then April, demonstrators drive thousands of vehicles, many draped with protesting signs, to Michigan State Capitol, loudly protesting Whitmer's stay-at-home order intended to fight the COVID pandemic. So they was really mad that this woman was telling them to stay home so that they can be safe, okay, and not spread your nasty germs, which you ended up doing anyway, okay, and that's what they were mad about, okay. And then April 30th, one of the two state defendants, oh Lord, where it go? Okay, one of the state defendants, Michael or William, who were twins, appeared in a photo protested on Twitter by Senator Sean Denya, okay, from Michigan Capitol in Lansing, appeared apparently as part of the noisy anti-Whitmore demonstration of gun-toting protesters. Remember, I keep telling you about that when they went to the court building and they had those weapons. If they had arrested their behinds then, they wouldn't be out trying to kidnap her, right? Sometimes you have to stop stuff and let people know that I'm serious. This is not going to happen. We're not going to do this. We're not going to act like this. And you do something about it. Just like this is just like a child. When you allow a child to get away with murder, they continue acting like a fool until you tear that behind up and then they straighten up, right? Okay, you have same thing with these thug terrorists. You have to punish in order for them to not to be buttholes. Okay. Let me read some comments here. I know most of them will get off 7 to 10. Really? But they all had something to do with it. So why would they get off? I mean, they really were organized, but how would they get off, Philip? I don't understand. If you all coming to plot to kidnap this one, everybody was plotting something. Everybody had a hand in it. If you're black and you plot them, okay, say for instance, you have four guys in the car and they do a robbery. Aren't you all? They put you all in the case, especially if somebody died when you're robbing that person. That everybody get charged with that murder, right? So why are they breaking this case down? I don't understand that. Is it because they are white? Okay, I'm just saying because I thought, some of them are doing state, they're going to face state time, and then some are going to face federal charges. Okay, so if you're talking about June 6th, they had something going on June 14th, at field training exercise. An unarmed founder of the militia group tells others he had been introduced to Fox in a recorded phone call that same day. Fox also tells the FBI informant that he needed 200 men to storm the Michigan Capitol building in Lansing and take hostage before the November election. Wow, they was doing this before the election. Among the hostage, the governor, who would be tried for treason, according to Fox. Then on June 18th, federally defended Ty, a member of the militia group, meets with Fox and an FBI informant on the Second Amendment rally at State Capitol in Lansing. Fort tells Garvin he plans to attack the Capitol and ask them to combine forces. Now they was doing all of this talking since for a while. It looked like they was meeting every couple of days. This was in June 20th. Fox, Arbin, and other, including an FBI. This FBI informant is at all the meetings. Meeting in the basement of the Grand Rapids vacuum shop where Fox lives. His room is accessible via hidden trapdoor. Okay, and they was discussing the plans to attack the state capitol and using Malloy craft cocktails to destroy police vehicles. Okay, and then it's talking about June 25th or 28th they met. July 10th through the 12th. I mean, all of this time they was meeting a lot and they was doing a lot of discussing stuff. And in August 18th to 23rd, The 29th they met, the 30th, September 12th, September 13th. They was meeting a lot of times and they was discussing all the way up until what, October 13th. Okay. Detention hearing. Wow. They are, I mean, how do you allow you had the FBI informant here, right? Let me read your comment. Get back to the combination of previous militia groups. Hmm. Yeah, that's true. Ain't no conviction to they ain't no conviction. What are you talking about? Ain't no conviction to the previous groups. You jokers. They allowed them to be in this what July, August, September, October, like 4 months. And then they finally moved because they was getting closer and closer because they was always talking about using the crypto communications. Fox separately wonders aloud whether the group just needed to party it out, make a cake and send it in what the FBI informant believed was going to be coded reference to sending a bomb to the governor. Wow, they was talking about some crazy stuff. Fox discussed the need to train for the next 3 months to be ready to engage, saying, in all honesty, right now, I just want to make the world glow, dude. Wow. Fox tells the FBI informant that he had not, now this is on the 26th, had not heard back from the baker, which was the bomb maker, which the informant understood that meant the explosive manufacturer. Fox also says maybe we should just make a bunch of cupcakes and send them out in the apparent reference to more widespread bombing campaigns. On the 27th, Fox asked in the crypto group chat, which included Corbin to other members, well, okay, how's everyone feeling about kidnapping? No one responds to the question. Okay, Fox and FBI informant also met at Fox's business in Grand Rapids. Fox described details, preparations for the plot. He terms a snatch and grab man. So at Whitmere, could be kidnapped and then moved to a Wisconsin location for trial. These people were crazy. Let me see. Looking back on you, Robert. Welcome, Robert. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, they organized. It seems like the governor was what? Was willing to sacrifice her own self for white supremacists. Yes, she was. Because she never condemned it. She never said anything bad about what was happening, did she? She never did. So let's continue on. We almost done. I didn't want to make this long, but now I'm talking about how they were planning on kidnapping her and what they were planning on doing. Okay, real quick, you guys. August 9th. Hold on, let me see. The 28th, informant over the phone that he had narrowed down his attack targets to the vacation home and the summer residence the same day. Fox posted to the private Facebook page, "We're about to be busy, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the patriots show up. Sacrifice his time, money, blood, sweat, and tears." Okay, August 9th, Fox Garvin and some other players participated in tactical training in at one of the other gentlemen's house. Conversation asked the group about kidnapping Whitmere and possibly destroying her boat. Okay. Wow. Lord, these people crazy. In another group chat with a number of federal defendants, Frank expressed interest in taking part in a surveillance of the vacation home, and another group member mooses about a possible escape route using the boat as a nearby on the nearby lake. Okay, and then on the 23rd of August, members of the group included Garvin, Harris, Frank, Caserta, meeting with Harris' home in Lake Orion and discussed concerns about being infiltrated by law enforcement. Now, they knew somebody was in that group that was hot. Okay. Now, this is what the group also discussed surveilling the vacation home. And Frank says he recently spent almost $4,000 on helmet and night gargles. On the 29th, Fox and two others conducted surveillance on the vacation home. Fox and another person take photographs and show and slow motion videos from their vehicles during the surveillance operation. Fox says, "Dude, we'll go out there and use deadly force." Wow, they was gonna kill this woman. In participation for this plot, state law enforced officials say that the state defendant Sean um, are aided in physical surveillance of a governor's property. I guess that's why they got more time, but did not list a specific date. On August 30th, Fox spared shares photos from his surveillance trip and the crypto chat group. Garvin officers to paint his personal boat black to support the surveillance of Whitmer's lake home using symbols and emotions. Garvin possibly suggests this demolition of a nearby bridge could hinder the police response. Okay, they talking about bombing bridges and everything. Dang on. Then September 12th came. The group of the federal defendant visits Garvin's property in Luther to train and discuss the Whitmore kidnapping plot. Croft constructs an improved IDE for removing the cap from a commercial firework, adding additional black powder, and wrapping the device in pennies and electrical tape as sharpened. During the exercise, the group sets the device in a clearing surrounding by human silhouette targets, and Craft demonstrates it to test its anti-personal effectiveness. Later, a member of the members of the group surveilled Whitmer's vacation home at night. State law officials said in court papers that William Knoll and Michael Knoll provided assistance for nighttime physical surveillance operation in Whitmer's vacation home by acting as a lookout for Adam Fox, but no dates were listed. Okay, then the 13th, the group reconvened at Garvin's property in Luther. Fox confirmed with the member that they intended to kidnap her. The group agrees to conduct the final training exercise in late October. Fox posts this is the 14th, and then of course the 17th. Man, they got three more meetings. Fox posted in the group's in crypto chat that he did not want the exercise to be the last week in October because it was leaving insufficient time to execute the kidnapping before the national election in November. The group agrees to use the time until the final training exercise to raise money for explosives and other supplies. And then another chat on the 17th, Fox asked others in the group what they thought of militia group invitation to participate in an armed protest of the state capitol. Carbon replies, I would highly advise minimizing any communication with him, and there needs to be zero, and I mean zero, public interactions if we want to continue with our plan. And then on the 30th, it says during the chat, Fox discussed purchasing a taser to be used in the kidnapping operations. On October 2nd, Fox revealed that he purchased the $800,000 Volt taser. $800,000. What taser is this? They call $800,000 in a crypto chat message with the FBI informant. Okay, on October 7th, Garvin and a few of them met an undercover law enforcement agent on this day and to make a payment of explosives, extended tactical gear. Said he could not attend because he will be at work. Croft had returned to Delaware and was not available for this exchange, but instead of competing in arms transaction, waiting FBI agents arrested Frank, or arrested the, wow, or was arrested same day. Okay, and October 8th, federal law enforcement officials announced 13 men have been charged. They are crazy. Who does this? Who does this? These family, this is what you're dealing with right here. This is what you're dealing with. This is why it is so important for us to be strapped. This is so important. If you don't know by now how crazy these thug terrorists are, how crazy these people are, you better get it because this is serious. If you don't understand how serious this is, and I'm gonna show you the 13, I'm gonna show you them again. If you guys don't understand what you're dealing with, you better, because this right here is serious. This is what you're dealing with. 13 of these creeps right here. This is what you're dealing with, you guys. This is sad. These are 13, the 13 that, look at that. This is what you're dealing with. You better understand what y'all dealing with. You guys better get your minds right because they was talking about what they gonna do if Trump loses or if he wins. Regardless of the fact, they are ready for a fight. And if you don't have or practice your Second Amendment, you are crazy and out of your mind. Do you see what you're dealing with? Who comes up with stuff like this? Who thinks like this? Who? What if they had no gotten a police officer or the FBI informant, what if they didn't have an FBI informant, you guys? What if they didn't have, what if it had have been to where an FBI informant wasn't even hired and they would have gotten away with this? They would have gotten away with it.
You gotta go to work.
Mm-mm. They would have gotten away with that. So what is going on? What kind of people we dealing with? You got to understand what kind of people we dealing with. This is sad. Who thinks like this, family? But the sad part is America has not dealt with this problem and it's growing. And they want you to live with it. They want you to be scared of it. They want you to possibly be afraid. But we're not going to walk in fear. This stuff should have been taken care of years back. But guess what? Your government's not taking care of it. So guess what? You're gonna have to be. We have to live with the consequences. I'm not gonna live in fear like our grandparents and great for thousands of years was scared of the Klan and how the Klan was lynching niggas. I mean, like crazy. But now they still lynching us now and calling it suicide. If you turn the tape back, you'll see where they lynched a young man, Melvin Melvin Baker in Florida, and they called it suicide. And you know we don't know how to tie no nooses. I did not want to be here on here long, family, and I do appreciate everybody that tuned in. Thank you so much. We're gonna do this again on Thursdays. But I want you guys to get practice your Second Amendment. I cannot show you how important if you walking around right now, fellas, and you don't have legally and you don't have your candy or your friend with you, you crazy. If you don't have protection, you're in trouble. Don't not have your protection. Keep something with you at all times, whether it's a taser, whether it's mace for the women, tasers. Make sure get your wives their, taser or their mace or something. To have something is better than nothing. You hear what I'm saying, family? Having something is better than nothing. Okay, I just want you guys. We have to be vigilant. We have to be careful, and you guys have to know that these are serious times for us. Now, you can decide to stay here, you can decide to go. But I would not, and I'm just so done that I am making plans to do some other things because I'm not gonna live like this. I'm just not. I have friends that are in Africa now, and they are just like it's the peace. It's not about anything else. And people that haven't gone will tell you about Africa. You can't tell me about Africa if you've not been there. So when they start talking, I ask them, "Have you been?" And they say no. Then I don't want to hear it. I talk to the people that's been there and that's there now, and they're telling me it's nothing like the peace that they feel. The peace. It's about the peace. It's about the safety. They said, well, nobody's dying. No police officers shooting anybody. No white supremacists walking up to them trying to kill them. Nobody is, it's peaceful. And that's what we need right now, peace. But in the meantime, family, I want you to get your thoughts together. Think about why are we voting for a white supremacy system, and why have we decided to stay and fight instead of leaving a country that's being destroyed anyway? Because this country is being destroyed, and we've decided to stay. Why? With that said, family, have an amazing rest of your week. Be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. And peace, family.